So if you've seen this, they're trying to say this is like in response to the skit that Druski did.
So Erica Kirk has reportedly already started the legal process of taking legal action against Druski for his skit, which was objectively hilarious.
So Druski just did a video where he did whiteface.
He did a whiteface of Erica Kirk.
A lot of people are actually outraged over Druski's most recent skit, specifically over the fact that he used whiteface.
So apparently the internet has found something new to argue about again. And this time, it's a Druski skit. And this ain't the first time that's happened. But yeah, man, about 4 days ago, Druski drops a new video, just doing what he always does. But this time, I guess you could say the character he's playing is very specific to a certain group of people. But he's playing that character, exaggerating behavior, making people laugh, and somehow it turns into a full-blown debate over whiteface, racism, who's allowed to joke on what. And I'm sitting here like, did we watch the same video? Because to me and a lot of other people, it was funny and real as fuck. Let me not even say real, truthful. Let me just say that, truthful. Genuinely funny. Genuinely funny. But instead of just laughing and moving on, part of the internet does what it always does. Overanalyzes, mislabels, and then it tumbleweeds into something bigger than it actually was. So now we gotta talk about it. Because the whole time I wasn't even gonna make a video on it. I thought it spoke enough for itself, gang. Like, if y'all ain't paying attention, bro, then this skit didn't make sense to you.
Get on your feet, boy!
Let me start off like this. The skit was not random. It was very clearly a character, a very specific type of person being exaggerated for comedic effect. The voices, the mannerisms, the fucking Starbucks order dog, that shit was hilarious. The Pilates, the way he talks about the serious topics like war while completely disconnected from reality. That's not making fun of white people. That's making fun of a mindset. He's not saying this is what all white people are. He's saying this is what these people look like. This is what these people sound like. And comedy has always done that. You take something real, exaggerate it, and make it look as ridiculous as it is.
Get on your feet, boy!
But we serve a just God, and I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign, but He's just. And so let the Lord handle that.
I serve a righteous God, and that is why we say our prayers. And we are all His children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country.
That's literally the formula. Now here's where things got weird for me. From the jump, people started calling it whiteface, and it made my head turn a little bit. That shit threw me off, man. Because that term gets thrown around a lot like it means something, but it doesn't hold the same weight, history, or context as what people are trying to compare it to, which is blackface. And I'm not even gonna point the finger at everybody like I ain't made that same mistake too in the past, because I did when I was talking about Rakai. But there is no such thing as whiteface. People hear and see face paint, different race, and that equals like the same thing. No. And that's just not how it works. This wasn't about mocking someone's race. This wasn't about degrading a group of people based on how they look. It was about culture, behavior, and ideology. But instead of focusing on what was being said, a lot of people focused on how it looked. And don't get me wrong, the presentation was spot on. A+. Druski got an A+ in every aspect of his skit. But that's where the whole argument went left.
Every time Druski pretends to be a white person, the same conversation always arises. The age-old debate, if Druski can do whiteface, then why can't I do blackface? If he can paint himself white as a joke, then why can't I paint myself black as a joke? Seems like a real double standard, if you ask me. And I've already went over this once, but the answer to that question is a lot easier than you think it is. Whiteface exists in the same way that my 12-inch penis exists. In theory, both of these things are very real. In actuality, it's a lot smaller than it might seem. What I'm trying to say is that whiteface and blackface are not comparable because only one of them has a historical context tied behind it. That being blackface, it was used as a tool to dehumanize people, as a means of upholding a racial hierarchy that keeps one group at the top and another way, way down at the bottom. It wasn't just for the sake of comedy, it was also used to reinforce the fact that a group of people were subhumans. They were inferior to us. They don't deserve equality. equality, and that's why it's okay to mock their features and just mock them in general. Whiteface does not have any of that. So even though both of these two terms, right, whiteface and blackface, they exist in a literal sense, only one of them is actually real.
If you actually pay attention, the skit was low-key commentary. Like when he was talking about the serious issues, the war, kids dying, and then responds with like surface level sympathy. Oh yes, we're praying for the kids, yes.
How about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the,
While clearly not understanding or engaging with the situation, that's the joke. The disconnect. That I care but not really type energy. It's not about race. It's about how some people are moving throughout this world. Completely detached, but still speaking like they have authority on everything. And Druski just packaged it into a character and delivered it perfectly. Nigga delivered that shit like we paid for express shipping, bro. That's it, man. Now the reactions, that's where it gets even funnier. And instead of just some people disagreeing, some people decided to respond by doing the exact same thing they were complaining about, but worse. Putting on exaggerated black behavior, dressing a certain way, hat tilted to the side, talking a certain way, acting a certain way, trying to clap back, I guess you could say. And it all ends up just looking ignorant as fuck. Because now you're not making a point, you're just proving you didn't understand the original joke in the first place. It turns into this weird cycle of people trying to outdo each other and being offensive, while claiming they're the ones being offended.
So if you've seen this, they're trying to say this is like in response to the skit that Druski did. But the thing is, this is no different than what Pete Davidson and Timothy Chalamet, whatever his name is, did on SNL.
Yo, twin, what's up, bro? Thank God. It's so good to see you, bro.
Hell yeah.
You know, I've been in that motherfucker for 3 weeks, bro. They trying to get the fuck on. I'm getting the fuck on, bro. Lisa went into that motherfucking phone. What the fuck wrong with her? But we finna go see what's up.
The reason this blew up isn't just because it's funny. Like I said earlier, it's because it was truthful, funny, and also because it hit a nerve. Good comedy does that. They take it to the extreme. It'll make a lot of people laugh, but it makes certain people feel uncomfortable. Y'all ever heard that saying, there's always a grain of truth in every joke? Sometimes a comedian might be telling their little story or whatever joke they're saying, and it can sound exaggerated, but whole time that's been a real experience for somebody, and it happens to be funny. You know what I mean? But that's why it'll be funny to a lot of people and then uncomfortable for certain people. Not because it's wrong, but it's too accurate. And when people feel called out, they don't always respond with, okay, that's fair. They respond with defense, with labels, with arguments, anything to avoid sitting there and being like, yeah, that applies.
Content creator and comedian Druski made a video recently titled How Conservative Women Act in America. And conservatives are not having it. They're not liking it at all. They've been mad and upset for the past 36 hours. And I had 3 specific questions I wanted to ask y'all to put this all into perspective because I'm confused. My first question is anything in this video inaccurate? Yes or no?
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man.
Now, one thing I've learned about parody comedy is that when the people or person it is about is upset about it, it's usually one of 2 things. Either 1, they felt like the parody was inaccurate and full of lies. Or 2, they don't like people finding fun in the truth. So which one is it? Because to me, it seems like Druski did his homework. Everything in the video seemed to be on point. And that's why y'all know exactly who he's talking about. Because if not, it wouldn't have been accurate. Right? Which brings me to my second question. Did y'all not find any of that stuff to be weird before this Druski skit? Y'all felt like all of that was normal, and now all of a sudden when he's bringing it up, it's starting to hurt your soul a little bit? Was the fireworks at the funeral not excessive? Was the stares into the camera not unusual? Were the statements about white male men being disenfranchised not weirdly exclusionary?
We're at a point where people don't know how to separate comedy from an attack anymore. Everything has to be either completely safe or completely offensive. There's no middle ground where we can like be a little offensive and still have our little, you know what I'm saying, our cool side. You're like, what the fuck, man? Comedy lives in that middle ground. It's supposed to push a little lines. It's supposed to be exaggerated. It's supposed to take real things and make them look ridiculous. If every joke has to be justified, explained, and approved before people can even laugh at it, then it stops being comedy. I wouldn't even want to hear the fucking joke no more. You gotta tell me why you're about to say the joke, what it means, why you're allowed to say it, and then give me a letter of approval of you being able to say it. Nigga, don't even say this shit no more. It just becomes content, and that's way more boring. What really gets me though is the hypocrisy, because the same people saying that this is wrong are turning around and doing worse versions of it, but thinking it's justified because they feel offended. That's not how it works, my dog. Blackface comes with layers and layers of trauma and humiliation. And like I said earlier, Druski's skit didn't reflect that on white people or European culture. Regardless, you ain't gonna fix something by doing the same thing with less awareness. If anything, it just shows that people aren't mad about the principle. They're mad about being the subject of the joke, which is kind of ironic. And that's a whole different conversation.
Why did I just seen a clip the news talking about some Druski under fire because of the whiteface skit he did? Not the white people mad.
I'm not understanding why they were mad. Was it Trump just posting the Obamas as monkeys?
And to them people that got so much to say about Druski, y'all were laughing a couple months ago. Yeah, y'all were laughing at that church stuff. Remember that? Now that he talking about other stuff, y'all ain't laughing no more.
I've never seen so many people trip about Druski so hard. First of all, bro, you already know black people are the funniest people on earth. So anything we do is going to be funny. And what he did, that was a parody. He wasn't being racial. He was just acting like what the white lady was doing.
Brother, I have not seen this many Republicans this mad since Trump lost the election. Y'all gotta watch this Druski skit, bro. I'm so mad they're out here posting stuff like George Floyd deserved it. Brother, we don't care.
At the end of the day, man, it was just a skit, a funny one, a well-executed one, and honestly a pretty accurate one. So if you're mad about it, the shoe must fit. Not everything needs to turn into a debate. Not everything needs to be labeled, analyzed, and broken down to where the original intent gets lost. And that's why I didn't really want to make a video on it, because I feel like it stood for itself. Like it spoke a lot for itself. But here we are, I end up making one on it. Sometimes something is just funny and real, relatable. If it made you laugh, cool. If it didn't, that's cool as well. But turning it into something it's not, that's where the internet loses the plot. But nah, man, that's all I got for y'all in this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed Druski's funny ass skit. If you didn't, too bad for you. Get well soon. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe on this video, man. We on the road to 5,000 subscribers. So grab your ticket, join the community, man. I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.